To the session, and let's talk about the agenda. And here we are going to see one interesting agenda which is going to help you every now and then to you guys in the lightning journey. That is nothing but a very important topic called as DML. So I hope you remember the classic programming days when you learned something about DML and then you realized that DML is something by which you can actually perform insert, update, delete kind of activities in the system. So for example, this is you and this is your code. So if at any point of time by using the program by programming way, if you would like to insert any record by programmatical way into the database, or maybe you want to insert, maybe you want to update, maybe you want to delete, then please note all this is possible by only the concept of DML. Okay, with DML we need to do all these things. So let's see how DML can help us, and what are the approaches for that. We are going to proceed with a scenario. For that we need a data modeling. Let me just do that. So what we are going to do now here is I'm going to show you one scenario, and in that what you need is you need to first of all prepare data modeling. Okay, you just need to prepare one object that we are going to take care in this process, and that object is something like this. I'm going to show you as we are going to assume side by side working on some real-time scenarios. That assume we are working on a project of, let's say, HDFC insurance. Even we are having some kind of topics I sent you in the video related to that. So please note here that you have a data modeling like this that you need to create, by the way, before you move ahead. So what you need here is first of all you need to create this data modeling. Let me show you here. So this you need to create, and proceed with that immediately. That is needed for implementing this functionality. So proceed with that, create these things. It will not take more than 2 minutes for you because it's a very basic level field creation, and then we will go for the DML approach. So please proceed and start this data modeling right away, and the object name you can keep as the way I have taken HDFC customer detail to just have some glimpses of real-time scenario, real-time activities that we do. So please go for that and create these fields. And once it's done, then let me know. You guys have 5 minutes. Please complete this activity. So you can see this in the format of lightning experience as well. So you just need to create this all the things what I displayed here with the object HDFC customer details. Just 2 minutes left now. Please complete this. Okay, time is up. Now what I'm going to show you. So first of all, we need to now create a UI something like this. We need to create the UI something like this. We need to create the UI something like this, and we need to now manage this activity or perform the DMLs as per the business process mentioned here. Okay, so now please note what you need to do. You need to create this functionality, and I'm going to here show you the code as well. So You need to create this functionality, and then after that you need to work on the DML activities on that. So first of all, I will do one thing. I will show you the scenario with one angle. Let's say create. So here the business requirement is the sales representatives wants actually the HDFC company's sales reps using Salesforce mobile from client location, from the field work, from traveling. They are entering various insurance details and they want to enter that into the Salesforce environment. So what is better than using Salesforce 1? So with Salesforce 1 they are entering all these details, but how it's happening, this we are going to put in a Salesforce 1, and this Salesforce 1 the sales reps are using for efficient and flexible work format. Okay, so for that this UI is present. That UI now I'm going to explain you. So understand this UI, then I will explain you one part, that is the create part. We'll go for the record creation, and then here after this we are going to go for the logic search. Like we are going to see the client side controller logic, helper logic, everything, and then the same thing we are going to do as a live assignment for delete and update, and then I'm going to explain how to do this delete and update. Okay, this is going to be a very important session, so please pay attention. DMLs are very important in the real-time projects. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you first of all UI. So let me go for the UI. UI is nothing but the components, by the way. So here I'm going for a component code, and here we go. Very simple and straightforward. See here, first of all I'm defining a component where I'm saying this component is dependent on this apex class controller equal to xyz, that is apex class. Implements this. Let's say we are saying that it's available for lightning pages, so that we can use this in lightning experience also, and access global anywhere it's can accessible in the lightning environment. And also here, apart from that, this attribute and all, like here, same like below. Okay, this is an example. Same like below, the way we have this attribute declaration, exactly in the same way we can even declare the s object declaration. Please note it's slightly tricky. Okay, it's not regular one, it's slightly tricky. So the way we declare the variable, similarly we can declare the s object. How? Right, attribute, that is nothing but declaring variable name, whatever you want to give. Type, now give the API name of the object. Here type means API name. The way we are here having a type integer, string, etc., here you mention type equal to API name of that object. It means we are going to store single record of that object. You can now give a default value also. Default value is also something interesting. First of all, give the, it's a kind of in a JSON format or kind of a key value format, key and value format. So where you need to give here key means a subject type. What is the type? Of course API name. Then you can just mention first name default value, let's say nothing. Last name default value, nothing. So this way I'm defining a default value. So here this is the object name declaration, and here for first name last name I'm doing nothing as of now. Okay, fine. So now we are going to use four fields from the data model for this scenario. Four fields from that: email, last name, email, first name, and monthly salary. Now the UI part. So like for example we are using the SLDS content, SLDS UI for creating first a pager header, then a kind of small text. So welcome to HDFC Insurance, and please enter client details. So this code I will paste here in the chat box for using that SLDS. Then what we are doing, then we are creating a div. In that we are going to create a small div for first name, another div for last name, another div for email address, another div for monthly salary. So this way we can work on various divs. And please note, as I told you previously, whenever you see something like something in class, it's nothing but something which we are taking the benefit of Salesforce Lightning Design System. So in the topic of Salesforce Lightning Design System, you'll understand that how to find the documentation of that, how to use the ready-made code for you. This is something which we use as a ready-made code from the Salesforce examples. We need a kind of card, we use card. We need a field, we use field. We need a page, we need use page. We use header, you can use header. The code is ready by Salesforce. You just need to copy this. If you need slightly modify and use it. So SLDS is something which is not at all difficult. whenever you see class SLTS and something. So this is helping us, this class is helping us to create a kind of form, and this is going to club all the values together. So this is first name, this is last name, email address, and monthly salary. Okay, and now I'm giving 4 buttons here by using again this class of SLTS, by which I'm just showing all these buttons near to each other, that is create, delete, update. Okay, so this is how actually we can create the buttons, and on the press of the button, create client, delete client, update client is going to be called. So this is UI, and now after this UI I'm going to show you one functionality, that is create client. Same logic you are going to apply for the remaining things. So what I'm going to do now here, I'm going to proceed for the controller, and in the controller here uh, we need to write the particular code. So I have removed my code from update and delete. I have removed the code just right now for update delete because I want you guys to do this as a live assignment. So please note, here I'm calling a function create client. See here, this is the button, line number 45. On the press of the button, create client function is called. In that I'm calling helper method, because now we are not going to follow any kind of wrong method of programming, like writing the code in the client side controller and etc. We will divide everything. We will write the UI in component and the validations in the client side controller and the database connectivity with the helper. All these approaches we are going to follow. So right now here nothing but just we are calling the helper. Now go for the helper, and by the way here in this code you can also add some functionality like validations, like validating whether the first name last name entered or not, etc. But here our focus is to learn DML, so we can focus on DML only. So now I'm calling the helper function and go to helper function. That is the helper function called as helper method create. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to now again remove the code from my environment, and I'm going to only keep the code of create because I want you should do this. So here we go, remove the code. So this is the create function. Okay, so what I'm going to do now here is now something is there in terms of delete also. Even delete I'm going to remove, and only will keep the create code, and here we go. So first of all, helper method create. In this I'm just going to keep a log for me to just understand I'm coming here or not. Then I'm going to fetch the value attribute client. So this is nothing but associated with this whatever we are going to enter here. We have created a variable attribute client, that is nothing but the attribute for a subject, the variable for a subject, which is going to save the data from this, because it's just nothing but uh, having connection to the S object that we just created. So whatever user will enter here, that will go to this variable. The variable name is attribute client. Okay, and now come here. So I'm fetching the data. Now here we can also do the validation in this way, that's also possible. Okay, or the same validation also you can do here, that's also possible. Okay, so here now once you get the data, you go for the validation. You can check the first name, last name, everything is given. If not, throw error, first name is required, last name is required, etc, etc. And the same code you can also keep it here. So if it is not happening, if it is not working, then return the value. That is, say no, it's not good, not correct, return the value. That's also you can do, and then you can call this helper functionality. Okay, and also you can just keep it here in the helper. Okay, then if all goes fine, then I'm going to get a connection of one function which is in the controller, that is apex class, and I'm saying I want the connection of this class, and in that class the function create record. So connection is there, that is in the action variable you are having the handle. Now you are setting the parameters, you are passing the var client, that is the entire record you are passing as a parameter to this client is nothing but now the variable name which you are passing as a parameter. Then set callback function the way we have seen in the past, that is execute the function and then get a callback, and you'll get a callback as a response. Check the response state. If all goes fine, if it is success, Then that's it. Then first of all, you reset the form. Reset the form by giving all the empty data again, the same way we did in the first page. And this way, resetting form is done. Then set the new value for that form, because this will reset the value. And if it is giving any error, the error say there is error from server side. If nothing is there, everything is going good, then the dollar $NQ action, that is if anything is dependent on the server side call, any kind of another internal server side function call and all, let it happen and finally complete this activity. And let's see what is present in the server side. In the server side, of course, I will be having three functions. I'm going to show you only two functions, and here we go. In fact, one function, so here we go. So in the server side, I'm accepting a variable called as client, which is nothing but the subject record. Once I'm going to get this data, I'm just going to put one system.debug to just understand whether I came here or not. Then if client is not equal to null, then I have already record ready taken into the subject. Just make insert client, problem solved. And if any exception is coming here, you can handle here, and that's all. This is the code which is going to be the specimen for you, and now you are going to work on the live assignment, by which I'm going to send you this code and you have to perform the remaining things. That is, ensure now even the delete work will work, and ensure even the update will work. If you perform this live assignment successfully, then please note you will be having a very you will be having a very strong clarity on the DML activity, because DML is very common in Lightning and all the activities of programming. So you have to do these things regularly. So I'm sending this code to you, only the code which is having the content for create, not the other code. So check your email address please, and or check your email inbox please, and go for that. I'm adding four. That is the client side controller, helper, then I'm adding the um, component code, and then I'm adding the Apex class code. All I'm sending, please start working, and mail is now sent. Please proceed. Once done, please mail me the code and then I'll show you the answer. Yeah, great. So now almost all the emails I got, and the code is also looking great. Now let me explain you the ideal answer, and also we are going to improvise this code, by the way, so that we can follow some division of the code, like some code in the validation for the client side controllers, and etc., and also improvising the validations in such a way that what we need, that only we are going to have here. Let's see. Here is the code. Pay attention. So this code I already explained, the UI code, so there is nothing change in that. It's the same. But now in the client side controller there is some improvisation. So for example, what we have done, when we are going to call this client function, and the target from this client function is to go for helper and get started from there. Before that, so before going to helper, what we have done, we have tested some important functionality. So validation for create function is we must need, or let's say client must enter all data, because you are creating a record. This, and how can a record will be there without first name, or let's say last name, or email, or monthly salary? So we are making validation on all these four fields by checking the facilities present in $a $a.util.isempty. This function we can use to pass any field that we created, any text field we created on the component, and we are saying whether it's empty or not. Or you can also see it's undefined. This is the best practice by which we can check the values provided or not. If not, first name is required, then last name is required, same way email is required, and same way monthly salary is required. This way also you can do. Also various validations you can improvise here. For example, you can check here email format validation. You can check here, for example, numerical value validations. All these things you can improvise here. Next, then only we are going to call the helper method. Suppose it's a delete function. For delete, at least we need email. Here we are going to delete, we are going to find out the record by email. So email. So here email will be the field which is going to help us to identify the record on server and then delete it. So email validation only we are done, and then only we went to helper. Third, update. Now we need here at least one thing we need. So here you can see a different kind of validation. We have created a flag to check something is entered. So you are not entering email first name last name, okay, enter salary. If you're not entering salary, or let's say email first name, enter let's say last name. So what, at least something you should enter to update. And one more thing here, what we need to do, we will again modify here, by the way. See, we need for updating, we need email address compulsory. Okay, so we'll do one thing, we'll make first name last name, and this will remove, and abc for example. And what we'll do here, we'll just add here three things, because out of these three things at least something we should have. Okay, that is one point. And email is compulsory. Okay, so let me remove here the t flag, and we'll do one thing, we'll copy the email. Email is also needed, there is no compromise on this, because without email how we can make the value check. So email is also needed, and something from this needed, a b c, at least one thing needed. If a is blank, b is blank, c is blank, then throw error and say that you should enter at least one value. And from this email we are going to mention that we need email at least. Okay, that is one thing. Next, and now after this, come down, helper method called. Okay, next, go for now helper. Now in helper, I'm this is the console activity which we saw. Now here we can helper, we can remove the validation. Now we don't need validation. Okay, and here what we are doing, I'm just making a connection to the function, passing the parameter, this we already saw, and then making the create record. That's it, record create successfully. This we have seen before few minutes. But now let me show you something about helper method delete. In this again, I'm going to get the connection, that is the record. First of all, I'm making the connection here from the server side function. Then I'm fetching the value from the component also, and then I'm making the check. So for delete record, I need some information. So I'm passing that entire record, whatever is there, to the server side, and it's coming here. And in the server side, where is that delete? See, this is the delete. So I'm getting the value in the client, and from that I'm only interested in client.email. So I'm making a query that whatever record is there, client.email, which is matching, please delete that record. That's it. Come down, and the remaining thing is same. Set callback, and then check the state, and then only you may write a message record is deleted. And finally, uh, wait, what is this? This is delete, and this is also delete. Let me remove this. This is a duplicate function, and this one is update. In update, now if I go for this in update, okay, now in update, in the helper, we are checking again the value, and then we are passing the parameters, and the control is coming here. As soon as control is coming here, we are checking that here we are fetching the record. First of all, whatever is the record, fetch it in the variable record, and then whatever value are coming, recorded email first name. So please note, we are entering the value first name and last name and monthly salary. Now here what we can do, one more thing as improvisation. Client if suppose client did not enter first name or something like this, okay, so you can also check here like this. If this not equal to null, if this is not blank, whatever value we have, it's not blank, there is some kind of value, okay, then only you update. Okay, and for this also the same. If this last name is not empty, there is some kind of last name, then only you come to this code, otherwise don't come. And similarly, if this salary is entered, then only you come to this, because customer is not interested in modifying anything, so leave it and come here, and this way you take the value from salary. So whatever is modified, and finally entire record is updated with the latest value whatever we gave, and then problem solved. So this way we have made the update also, and then the control will come to JS, and it will see that if it's success, then it will write the message record updated successfully. And this is ideal code of performing DML in Lightning. Everyone clear till this point? Everyone clear till this point? Please type clear in the chat box. Fantastic. Please note, now as a home assignment, I am going to give you some more work with the help of this. If you remember here, where is that record? Let me just open that record, or let me go for setting. So this is a very important session for DML. Every now and then, every component of Lightning, you will see almost everything in real-time project is having some DML. You should follow the best practices. We have done that. You have to separate out the entire code. We have done that. And also you have to follow the ideal way to check the null values, blank values, etc. That also we have done that. And now we are going to proceed for one. I'm going to tell you one small thing, that see in the object manager, where we actually see all the objects in the object manager. Then under the HDFC object, so in this list you can just type here HDFC, and here please note, now you can see here in the fields there are some more fields, like for example here mobile. Okay, there are some fields like mobile, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you some kind of additional fields in this, and something like country, something like city. Okay, and based on that I'm going to give you some home assignments. Please work on that. This will make you guys very confident in DML, and then we will work on some next activity after that. Okay, so please perform on this home assignment which I'm going to mail you, and have a good day. That's all with the today's session.